So hi everybody, I'm Laura Waters from Air Arts at the University Hospitals of Derby and Burton. So we're really excited that we've been shortlisted for this award. We've got a really fantastic arts team at our hospital, so I'd like to spend a bit of time just telling you about what we do and to introduce you to the team. It's a very enthusiastic team and we have some really amazing creative ideas. We're really lucky because our trust is really supportive of what we do, and that has really enabled us to do some really diverse and interesting work. So we've been running for over 12 years now, and I've been managing the programme for about the last 6 years. It started off with just me, but our team has grown in this time to 5 core members who I'm going to introduce to you today. So we've got a really wide range of artistic skills on our team, but we also work with a large pool of artists as well. So this means that we can bring a really diverse range of arts and activities, and we really try and offer something for everybody. So you can see from this list that there's a big range of what we do. So we work inside and outside of the hospital, and we ensure that all our projects we consult with patients and staff, so we're really representative. So all of our projects are designed to increase social interaction, to reduce anxiety and boredom, and we also aim to reduce staff stress as well and to boost staff morale. So we are aiming for a more welcoming and less clinical environment to aid recovery and wellbeing for everybody in our hospitals. So last few months have obviously been rather difficult because we've not been able to do any face-to-face work with our patients, and we were basically sort of had to just leave in March. So we've had to really work hard over the last few months to find new ways of working with our patients and staff. So we reckon now that this will probably become a blended approach in the future. So we will be using digital approaches as well as the traditional sort of paper-based resources as well in the future. So we're quite excited about the new potential for digital. So this is us, this is our team. So from left to right, we've got Rosie, who's our musician. Then we've got Emma, who's an arts coordinator, visual artist. And then there's me in the middle, programme manager. I'm also a musician. Kate is visual arts and theatre. And then Andrea, who is a dance practitioner. So within our even core team, we've got a really wide range. So next slide, please. So I'll tell you a little bit about each person on the team, and that will help to tell you about the projects that we do. So at Derby and Burton, we've got one of the largest art galleries, hospital arts galleries in the country. We're also a regional showcase for paintings in hospitals. So at any one time, we've got around 500 pieces of original artwork on the walls. And most of these artworks are changed every 6 months. And it's Kate's job to come up with themes and ideas and ways to refresh the walls of the hospital every 6 months. So at this particular time, we are currently taking the exhibition down and refreshing it. Obviously, very importantly, because over the last 6 months, that work has been there at a time where staff have just seen it day in, day out. So they're associating that now with the pandemic. So we feel now as we go into winter, we want a complete refresh of the artwork on the walls. So we've got a really uplifting display coming. It's involving staff artwork, patient artwork, community artwork. So it's a real collaborative effort, and we're also doing an exhibition of staff in their sort of uniforms and non-uniforms, so it's showcasing their hobbies and ways in which they use the arts to support their mental well-being. Kate also leads on our virtual gallery, and this time around we're going to be building an entirely new set for our gallery. Normally we'd have the hospital walls would be captured and put into a virtual setting, excuse me, but this time we are having an entirely newly built gallery online. So next slide, please, just gives you an example of one of the walls in the hospital. And this shows you that alongside the artwork, we also use quotes and poetry and words, and these can be quotes from staff or patients. So the overall feeling is just uplifting and refreshing and something a bit different to look at, positive distraction on the walls of the hospital. Next slide, please. So then we've got Emma, who is a visual artist, but also arts coordinator. So she develops projects for us. So she's done a lot of illustrations for some of our publications and has done some really amazing mural works in our garden spaces during the pandemic, which staff started using some of our outdoor garden spaces. So Emma went in and has done some really bright, colourful murals, which has been a really beautiful piece of work. She's also doing some work on visual literacy with dermatology students. So we want to develop some of our training with junior doctors and students. So some of this work is based around the fact that if the students study artwork in detail to look at the colour and the texture of the work, this can then give them a way of describing the skin conditions and what they see in patients' skin. They can describe the colour and the texture using slightly more artistic. It gives lead to a better diagnosis. So it's really exciting areas that she's. Next slide, please. So this is a picture of our intensive care unit garden. So the staff at the intensive care unit garden got the money to turn it into a patient garden. So we decided to use British wildlife with some really beautiful colours, which are very calming. And there's also an area which is enclosed, which has got a little family of willow hares leaping around. And this garden was described by the staff as a godsend during COVID because they were able to take some very ill patients outside from the unit. So on the next slide, there is a picture of Emma delivering an object handling session with a patient. So we've got a really large collection of medical artefacts, including the original trowel used by Queen Victoria to lay the foundation stone for our original infirmary hospital site. So we're going to be getting some Heritage Lottery funds, hopefully, to catalogue this collection and to develop some more work around that. So moving on to Andrea. So Andrea has worked on national dance projects in healthcare settings. So she's developed a Dance for Parkinson's group at our hospital and also delivers dance training for staff around embedding dance therapy techniques for staff, and we're starting to get those onto video and to do those digitally as well. And more recently, Andrea has been developing single-use patient packs, and she cycles them up to the hospital every week. So that's been a really fantastic new resource that we've got, and just shows the devotion of Andrea on her bike. So next slide shows you an image of Andrea doing one of her sessions. So the therapists who attend these sessions say that the patients often find it easier to do their exercises and movements if it's as part of a group like this. It's more fun, it's more meaningful and more sociable. So next slide is Rosie. So Rosie normally would be booking in about 150 music performances every year. We have a really good relationship with the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire just down the road from us, and we train their graduates and their postgraduate students in methods of music in healthcare settings. And then some of these students come and work with us to work on the wards or in performance level. So we've currently got a core of 6 musicians who work on the wards. But obviously, we've not been able to do that for the last 6 months. So Rosie has been incredible in collecting videos and doing live Facebook concerts, and she created a 3-hour music-a-thon to raise funds. And also she and her husband created a charity single called A Grateful Heart. And she got over 40 members of staff to sing along on the chorus. So they were able to record their part and send it into her, and so there's a video available as well. Available on iTunes, folks, if you want to get hold of it. It's a fantastic piece of music. So next slide, please, which just shows you a picture of Kinga, who is our one of the harpists. So this in happier days when we were inside the hospital performing. So we do have plans to get back, but just performing outside. We're looking at using our outdoor spaces to perform in at the moment. So next slide. This is so me. I'm really lucky. I've got such an amazing team to work with. It's hard to talk about yourself and blow your own trumpet. So when I started running the programme 6 years ago, it was very much based on exhibitions and a few performances. So it's really great that we've been able to grow it and really change the programme and embed it so much into the system and do so many varied and interesting projects. We're really starting to get the staff involved and excited about what we can do. And there's a lot of opportunities to really enhance patient experience for everybody. a few years back, just wanted to mention I was invited along with our Director of Patient Experience to talk at the House of Lords for an evidence review, which led to the publication of the Creative Health Inquiry report. And after this, I got talking to a few other arts managers around the country. So I set up a national network of arts managers. And this is now the National Performance Advisory Group for Arts Design and Heritage in Hospitals. And this national group is really starting to come into its own now during the situation we're in to develop some national projects. So the team has had an amazing sort of journey over the last 6 years, and we're now seen as one of the flagship arts programmes in the UK, which is really amazing and fabulous. And I just wanted to comment on the quote that I wrote. So I wrote the quote there before all this COVID stuff happened, and it just really, I didn't quite realise how important it was going to be to have to find a way to deliver over the next few months. So I just wanted to finish on the last slide with a picture of one of my personal favourites at our hospital, which is our willow sculpture badger set, and a really nice quote there to finish on. There is a final slide as well, just to say thank you very much, and I would welcome any questions.